Balance Living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon, broadcasting out of the Sunset Gower studios in Hollywood, California, with UBN Radio TV, Universal Broadcasting Network, Tuesdays at noon, and then every Thursday at 7, Saturday at 4 on my syndicated CNBC NBC News Radio channel KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and everywhere on iHeartRadio. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, even though scandal is recorded here, and no K words, no Kardashian talk at all, because I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And it is a very, very special day today for many reasons. The first reason is it is my 6th year on the air, on camera, and I am so grateful to be here. And I am so grateful for all of you who continue to let me splatter more hope and happiness over you on camera and through your earphones. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for all of your support. And I'm going to start with my peace in, peace out before I introduce my very special guest that I got just to celebrate today. So last week it was 7 red carpets in 5 days. So I'll try to do this really quick. Yes, I juice my life. First at April Sutton's Diversity Annual Gala that honors the consulate celebrities from countries around the world. I also got to meet one of the Supremes, Sherry Payne, a senior VP of Motown, Barry Gordy's niece, Iris Gordy, Ola Ray, Michael Jackson's dance partner in the Thriller music video, who was introduced to me by Billy Tusher, the former owner of Rolling Stones magazine. And then that same night, I drove from Marina Del Rey to Newport Beach Film Festival opening night, and then 3 days at Revelation 2018, interviewing mass motivator Lisa Nichols, who's been on my show, the mayor of Atlantic City, Frank Gilliam, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and of course, my big brother, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, and many more. And then last night, I was out late doing introducing the Chinese Spotlight film and partying at the Pacific Rim as one of the sponsors at the Newport Beach Film Festival, Chinese Spotlight Film. So peace in and peace out to all the fabulous people I met there, including Pierce Brosnan and his wife, Keely, who were presenting the Poisoning Hawaii film, which was amazing. And they're going to be coming on the air with me to talk about that. So please go to my Dr. Marissa page and give me the finger, thumbs up, so that you can stay in touch with me with all of these, and you can watch the interviews as well as my YouTube, where you get the full interview, and subscribe for free and continue to support me through that. My excellent customer service, peace in, peace outs, go to Russ Bendel, owner of Olia Cellar, and the Asian Oprah giveaway that he's offering today is $100 gift certificate to his restaurant. So I am the first person to go to drmarissa.tv, fill in the contact and say, I want to eat, will get that $100 gift certificate. And then to all the staff at JP European Auto, thank you for taking care of Sterling, my new beautiful Jaguar convertible. And the reason why I give excellent customer service is I want to balance out all of the negative complaining that's going on. But now, without further ado, I am so delighted to introduce you to someone who really put a smile on my face growing up. She's best known as the mom from Happy Days, but she's also an amazing, she's been nominated for Golden Globes and won awards and Emmys, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, Marissa, Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me. My
Oh.
goodness, you're a wonderment. You're a
Oh,
wonderment. And you're a Canadian.
I am a Canadian.
And my mother was a Canadian.
From
Right,
Saskatchewan. I
right.
know, that's amazing. We come from good stock. It's I saw a Canadian cartoon one time about someone protesting, right? And he had a sign that said, "I protest." And he was just walking.
Yeah.
So, but we left
I
because we're too
no,
animated, right?
no,
For the country.
my mother was so important to me because I was raised as you can be anything. She said.
Yes.
So I thought, I will, Mama. I will. I
Yes.
will.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So you've had quite the career. You started your film debut was in 1953 with Forever Female. You were born in Minnesota. You became famous for that, but you've never retired. You were on the Drew Carey show, Touched on by an Angel, Nurse Jackie, The Middle, and if that isn't enough, you have a book that you just released.
I
So
do.
you're the pot calling the kettle black as far as the things that I get to do. I want to grow up to be just like you. so
Well,
so what keeps you that um active and loving and lovable and happy? You're very high vibration. I'm very lucky to actually have her here in the studio. And as soon as I met her, she just reached her hand out and went and gave me a kiss. I'm like, I am in love. I mean, she is so beautiful inside and out. So, what's your secret?
what is my aura? Right. What is my aura?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm a Scorpio.
Okay.
Right? No, and you know what it is? I'm a middle child,
Mm.
and my brother Gordon was a crippled boy. So and I'm the second little girl. I think about that a lot. I thought if it weren't for him, and I told him that at one point, I said,
Mm.
I owe everything to you. If it weren't for
Wow.
you, I wouldn't be me. And now I love me.
Oh.
When that took quite a while to fall in love with yourself,
Yeah,
you
let's
know,
talk about that for a little.
right.
I saw a little
Yeah.
bit in somewhere where I was reading that you had a little bit of an inferiority complex. I mean, you were around and working and rubbing shoulders and talking and eating with some iconic names.
You must have read my book. It's re-
Shh.
my book, right.
I don't know if I was supposed to get a free copy, but I got one. No.
Okay. It's called
Yes.
it's called My Days, Happy and Otherwise.
Mm.
No, I was under contract to Paramount by the time I was 22. When
Mm.
you think coming from Minnesota, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a lot of drive, but I was pretty intimidated
Mm-hmm.
by when I was under contract to Paramount, everybody was there on the lot. They
Okay.
weren't off on location. CB DeMille was sitting around the corner in this little alcove at lunch, and Marlene Dietrich would come sweeping into the dining room. And
Mm.
up in makeup one morning, there's a girl under the dryer, and she pushes up the dryer and gets up, and it was Audrey Hepburn.
Mm. She's my
And
favorite.
she was just my age.
Oh.
I went right out and got 2 candy bars and ate them right away. It's like you
God
want to
love
kill
you.
yourself,
Oh, oh. So then what happened? What was that journey like where you got to
Well,
now where
after a long year
mm,
with many experiences there, I got dropped. It was a 7-year contract with options.
okay.
Oh, I was relieved. Yes, I was more comfortable to be dropped. But I
Mm,
had my agent, and now he sent me on interviews. And the first job I got was because I was an actress,
mhm.
and I loved having different accents. So I played an Irish maid on the series Life with Father live because I was trained
Mm,
to the stage
okay.
live at
Okay.
CBS with Leon Ames and Lorene Tuttle,
Mhm.
and that was the beginning of my relationship with CBS
Ah.
because everything was done live in those days,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that was very exciting.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So then that helped you feel more secure in your own abilities, would you say?
But still, I was a shy kind of person. It's
Mhm.
funny, like lots of actors, there's a shy person inside. I
Mm.
don't see that in you. I know.
What?
I don't think
What?
there's a shy kid in
I
there.
am shy. Sarcasm is another service I offer. No, really. No, no, no. But I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of actors and actresses who are introverts,
We
but
are.
they've learned how to
We
be
want to
extrovert.
be.
You're-
We want to be somebody other than ourselves. It's like
which is why you act.
I would meet people and I would think. In fact, I have a story. I said when I was like in the second grade,
Mhm.
there was a little girl, and they had the cutest way of talking. The nice, just it was so interesting, and I just loved it. So I started talking exactly the same way, and right away we were both sent to a remedial speech class, and I snapped right out of it. And she is there to this day.
Oh, that's a great
In fact,
story.
when and my children would say, "Mother, you watch people, you stare at people, and oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Mm,
interested in
right.
them."
Right. So you had the acting skill you were ingrained already from a very early age. You kind of knew that.
Well,
Did
the
you
skill comes, with years
right.
and years.
Right. Right. What did your parents think of you wanting to be an
My
actress?
mother said, "Don't pay too much attention to Marion because she's going to be an actress." So,
Uh-huh. So
so
she encouraged it.
yeah, oh yes,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
I also heard that you changed your name, the spelling of your name from Marianne A-N to O-N because it would look better on the marquee. I
I did.
love that.
So when I got my little prayer book and there's my name on there, I thought no, 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 this is not going to look good. So I would change the O and make it Mary On instead of Marianne.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's funny.
Mhm.
So anything we should know about Happy Days that we don't know? That's another nice way of saying, is there any dirt?
We
And so I'm going to break my no gossip rule because it is my 6-year anniversary. I'm just kidding. Uh, Potsy said that Anson Williams said that it was a really great time on there, and there wasn't a lot of
no.
stuff.
Did I congratulate you on your 6 years? This is a lovely thing for you,
Yes,
darling.
yes,
Yes,
yes, yeah.
yes,
And I
lovely.
really, when Harlan told me that you were available for interviews, it was a while back, and I said, I don't want to have her until my 6-year celebration. So I hope you
How
know
nice. How
you
nice.
were
Well,
handpicked for
well,
today.
Happy Days was a very wonderful place for all of us. And
Mm.
we had a softball team. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know
Didn't
that.
Anson did tell you about the
No,
softball
he
team?
did not.
Well, for some reason, Gary Marshall had this genius idea, and but this kept us so together because we
Mm.
had to play softball.
As a
Yeah,
team.
yeah, right. And
Mm.
like Ron Howard is a very good athlete, so he was right field. They took Henry Winkler, and Ron trained Henry, who was a New York kid, never played ball in his life, taught him to be the pitcher. And
Wow, that's so
can you
cool.
believe it?
Yeah,
And
this is
everybody,
clean dirt.
everybody on in our cast was a good ball player. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't think you could be in the cast if you weren't a
That
good
is
ball
great.
player. We
That is
played
great.
all the major fields in the United States.
Mm, that's awesome.
And then we went to the East German border and played with U.S. infantry up in
Uh-huh.
Gebelstadt on the top of where Hitler had been up there.
Really?
And here is they were doing war games, and they had like makeup on. The boys were all lined up and doing war
Wow.
drills. Here comes the cast of Happy Days, and with our red jackets and everything, and they can't move a muscle because they're they're in a war game thing. So
Wow.
I hugged all those boys. You know,
Wow.
it
That
was
is
a
so
it's been a wonderful life for me.
beautiful. It
Mm.
was what, 11 years? No,
Yes,
11
11
years,
seasons.
11 seasons.
Yeah.
And in those days there were actually numerous numbers of shows in a season instead of the
There would be like
yes.
22
That's
or
yeah,
so.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marianne, Don Wells was talking about,
Yeah.
you know, in the old days, how many episodes in 1 year in a season is
Yeah.
vastly
Yeah.
different than it is now. And what would you say? What do you miss the most about that show?
I don't miss it at all.
Oh, good. Okay, we're
I
go.
got
All right, we're going there.
I got everything out of it.
You
Yeah,
juiced it all.
right.
You got it. Got it
Because I
all.
did a wonderful series
Mm,
because I'm an actor. I
yes.
did a series called Brooklyn Bridge. You may not have
Mm.
heard of it. I played a Jewish Polish grandmother with
Ah.
accent, with everything. I became so Jewish. I loved. I said I one day I listened to this woman in the store and I said, "Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? I wish I were Jewish." And she staggered back. She said, "Look, nobody had ever said that to her before, you know." But
Yeah, not your
it
usual.
is so wonderful
Mm,
to be other people.
yeah, yeah. Here's an aside. My mom was adopted by a Russian Jewish woman, so I'm actually
So
Russian Jewish
there you
through
are.
the mother's
There
line.
you are.
I have an Uncle Moishi, an Aunt Ethel, and an Aunt Penny. Just
You
so you
see,
know. So you
lovely.
never know.
Yeah.
But okay, so you don't miss it. Oh, you actually got a nomination for that Brooklyn Bridge, I think,
I
right?
did. I
Yeah.
did.
Did you? That was a Grammy? No, I mean Grammy.
No,
An
an
Emmy? It was an Emmy. Yeah.
Emmy. Mhm.
Wrong industry.
And then I got nominated for an Emmy with when I was with Shirley MacLaine, and we did The Evening Star, which is the second episode
Um,
of what
the second episode
of the original was
okay.
anyway.
Anyways,
Anybody out
what
there
what
listening will know
yes.
Shirley MacLaine won Academy Award for the first part, so that was interesting
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
What is she like?
difficult.
Really?
I I thought.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. I all right.
yeah.
So we're not going there. And next, so let's put the moose on the table. I know that it was tough for you when Aaron
Oh,
passed. And so I wanted to who was it? Someone came on with me and we were talking about how difficult it is without support to even be part of this thing called Hollywood. And whether it was cancer or whether it was drug abuse or whatever it was, the truth is, and oh, Corey Feldman's been on here. It, it's not an easy road, right? There's not a clear
I
support
think
system.
isn't Ron Howard a wonderful example of how you can survive this business?
Mm-hmm.
And I attribute so much to his wonderful father, who just passed away several months ago,
Okay.
Rance Howard.
Uh-huh.
What a difference, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Little Aaron's parents loved it, you know, came
Mm-hmm.
to all our parties, stayed all night, just had, so it's a whole, it depends on who's raising you, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm. On the balance.
to balance,
Yeah.
because you could find that with any adult. Look at how many adults have trouble
Right.
handling
Right.
themselves in
Right.
this business.
Right.
It's short term, it's
Mm-hmm.
all of a rush, and then there's nothing. It's up and down. Can you take it? Can
Mm-hmm.
you take it?
Mm-hmm.
And all the time I kept thinking to myself, can you take this? I think, you know, you got to have nerves of steel and an ego that can go take a beating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're in the
Yeah.
limelight, you know.
Yeah, I always say a bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul. And that's how I get through it.
Good.
And
That's
baking your
good.
own cake, you have to be able to validate yourself. At the end of the day, have I done the best that I can with the time that I have and the resources I have? And then it doesn't matter who
No.
says that you're a whatever,
When
right?
when I was under contract to Paramount, I would watch. I was always very watchful.
Hmm.
I would watch. I would think, "Ooh, no, not that. No, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that."
Yeah.
And I'm still here at
Yes.
89.
At
You know,
89. I put down 90 in my social media because I read somewhere it was 90. So I should have believed Wikipedia it was 89, but you're going to be 90 years young in 6 months. And if you've just tuned in and you're wondering why my guest looks just a little familiar, it's because she has not even aged at all. My guest today is Marion Ross, the iconic mom, Mrs. Cunningham from Happy Days, here to celebrate my 6 years on the air on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. And we're just having a lovely chat, getting to know each other. Although I do feel like we've been friends for a
Well,
while.
now listen,
Yeah.
doctor.
Yes.
What is your doctorate in?
So I have a PhD in organizational psychology.
Ah,
So, and you know what PhD stands for, right? Well, you know what BS is bull shiitake.
uh-huh.
MS is more shiitake, Master of Science, and PhD is just piled higher and deeper. So don't give me too much credit.
All right.
But it's a field that looks at how people and organizations get along or they don't. So power, politics, miscommunication, conflict,
Mhm.
which makes me very ready in Hollywood.
Well, no, this is what's fun to be an actor because I'm so interested in the dynamic of people
Yeah, you're
relating to
very
one another.
observant.
Yes,
Very
I
observant.
observe and
Mhm.
because I think, oh, I would like to be you. Oh,
I would
that's
like you to
always
be me.
I would like to be you.
You look, try it. Be me. You cannot be shy, and you
I
have to
don't
kind of step in it
I
every
don't
once
think
in
I
a
could be so verbal. You're
while.
very articulate. It's
Oh,
wonderful.
thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love you. So where can we find your book? First of all, I know
Well,
we're going to talk about that when we come back from
I
break, but
Amazon.com,
and it's
Barnes and
Happy
Noble,
Days
Happy Days. No, it's
or
called My Days.
My
Happy
Days.
and
And dot dot dot.
otherwise. Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes.
otherwise. Yeah.
And you're on a whirlwind book
Oh,
tour.
I am.
She gets I was just talking to her beautiful publicist and assistant Gwen.
Gwen Barone is
Gwen
my assistant. She's been with me for 26 years, and now she runs everything, and she tells me what to do. So, yeah.
keeps you in there.
Yes,
Yes, and you're going to San Francisco after this. You have one or two interviews every day.
I know.
Yeah, and you don't get tired?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what would you say your life motto is? What keeps you ticking? What keeps you fresh and exciting and excited? What do you do?
I don't have it all in a capsule.
Mm,
I'm a Christian, you
okay.
know. So
Yes.
and I'm just very interested in other people
Mm-hmm.
because maybe I'll be you. That's it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I could be you.
Yes.
I'm not so keen on being myself, you know.
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
and
What do you say to people who aren't happy with themselves? How would you
I wouldn't be jumping in there. I wouldn't be giving them advice, but I do tell people that you can be anything
mm,
because that's the way my mother raised me.
mhm.
You know, you can do it. You can do it.
Yes,
Whatever
and
it
that's
is you want
exactly
to
what I
do.
wanted you to say.
Whatever you want to do.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, what advice would you give to people who want to get in the industry?
Well, what thank God. Look how big it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do go to college and university,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then you can do wonderful work there.
Right.
It's a wide open world, much bigger than when I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
uh, in fact, I, I, you know, nobody when I started
Yeah.
was going to be an actor
Yeah.
in college.
Yeah.
Uh,
What are your favorite memories of people that you've worked with, and not so favorite memories?
Well, I worked with Clark Gable on Teacher's Pet, and he was an absolute
Mm.
darling, darling. And I have a wonderful picture in my book with him. And I worked with Cary Grant on Operation Petticoat. We all went to Florida with the Pink Submarine, you know, and
Oh.
Tony Curtis, and that was wonderful. And like sitting up on the conning tower one day, it was against the moor, you know, peered up on
Mhm.
moored up, and we were gonna we thought we were gonna go out and shoot, you know, in the submarine. And I said to Cary Grant, he came up and sat beside me on the conning tower, and I said, I don't think I should go down in the submarine because I'm I'm this much pregnant. I'm too much pregnant. 2 months pregnant. He said, you are," and he started to cry. Right? So that's my
Oh,
son Jim Meskimen, who is an actor. He's a wonderful actor.
oh,
So
beautiful.
so that we had that moment together.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you have two kids, right?
I have 2 kids. My daughter Ellen
Mm-hmm.
Kramer was a writer producer on Friends.
Really?
And my daughter used to say to me, "Mother, you hurt my feelings. You're so shocked that I'm doing this." I said, "Well," I said, "it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal."
Oh, that's wonderful. So
And
they've followed you.
they have. I didn't
Yeah.
want them to, and they didn't
Why?
until. Well, it's not something you would encourage people to do, would you? No, I don't
Well,
think so.
well, let's talk about that. What is it that happens? I mean, I think the global or the bigger context that I'm trying to get at with all this stuff going on with Weinstein and all this craziness and all this coming out of the woodwork and the horrible things that can happen. Is that why?
No, it's the percentage of success.
Ah,
It's a hard road to hoe.
okay,
You're
okay.
not. Your chances are very slim.
Mm, mm-hmm,
Like 1%
mm.
of population is makes a living in Screen Actors Guild. Like
One,
one
you mean
percent
one percent of
of
the
the members
people and the
of the members
wow, I didn't know that.
of SAG, because there's
Wow.
thousands of members. All right, this is
Right.
not going to be easy. So
Right.
you almost have to be compelled beyond what
Mhm.
you
You
can
have to
believe.
really, really
Like,
want it.
and you would understand that because I'm sure you are
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, you have to really, really
Could
want it.
could
I
anyone have
so
stopped you?
no,
No.
no,
Or me? No.
no. Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah. You
No.
just you don't in a good way. You don't care what people think. Like what you think of me is none of your business and none of my
No,
business.
but that I don't even know if that plays into it because you
Okay.
care terribly.
Yeah. Okay.
You
I
care.
that was a
You
fib.
you
So I'm putting the moose on the table.
you.
That's my Canadian version of elephant in the room, by the way.
I
Just
think
in case you
so.
were wondering why I was kept saying that. So you have to really want it
You
and
do.
you have to care
I mean,
enough. It depends on who,
it has
right?
to be gut level.
Mm.
It has like you're gonna die if I would be with some other young people that were so talented, I couldn't bear it.
Mhm. Well, your
I just
reaction when you
couldn't
saw
bear it.
Audrey Hepburn,
Oh,
right?
I just could hardly bear it.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
And then you just do it anyway. Gospel according to
you
Nike.
just no, just keep on doing it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. Any regrets?
none. Oh,
Yes.
isn't that
I knew she was
something?
going to say that. I knew she was going to say that.
None.
Yes, that's the way to live. And
I
that's why you look the
I
way you
have a
do.
wonderful life. And I always joke. I say, I have every penny I ever made.
Mhm.
Which isn't quite true. But did a play with Jean Stapleton. She said, "Why do you say that to people? Why do you tell?"
Yeah.
I said, "I want people to believe that."
I love your sense of humor.
Mhm.
You're very funny.
Mm.
You're very funny. So, are your siblings still
Oh,
around?
my children my son Jim is tremendously successful. He's in a commercial that you may have seen.
Mhm.
He plays George Washington being hauled across the freeway in a boat for Geico. Geico.
Yes, yes, yes,
That's
yes. That's a
that's
funny
my son
commercial.
Jim.
Oh,
And
that's funny.
My Ellen Kramer is now producing a brand new pilot. She's got it in the can. It's all done for
Mhm.
ABC.
Wow.
I don't know the name of it, but
That's okay.
is that what? So
Well,
they're editing that. They're
mhm.
finishing that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, beautiful.
everybody in the
Great.
family.
And your brother is still around, the one
No,
that no?
my
Okay.
darling brother died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's his name? I
Gordon
think that was
Ross.
a beautiful tribute that you give
He
it. And
It
you're
was wonderful. He came to
mhm.
my house. This was years ago, and he was helping me paint. And we got the rollers. We're painting the walls.
Wait, I thought you said he was crippled.
He is crippled,
Oh, but he can
but
paint.
he just has one peg leg. They had to take off
Ah,
the lower part of his leg
okay.
when he was like about 16, and then he got a fake leg.
Okay.
Well, he got more mileage out of that fake leg. One time he's driving and the policeman pulls him over and he said, "Get out of the," policeman says to him, "Get out of the car." He said, "Well, I can't because my leg is in the trunk." Anyway.
Now we know that sense of humor
Now-
runs in the family.
right,
Yes.
right.
And I just got the signal from my fabulous sound engineer today and owner of Universal Broadcasting Network, Tony Sweet, that it's time for a commercial break to thank the sponsors who make this show possible today. So we'll be back in 2 and 2. Remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
No way! I'm so cool. I'm so hot. I'm so hungry. I'm so full.
Did that complaining sound familiar to you? Hi, I'm Dr. Marissa, your cheerleader for hope and happiness 88% of the time. And they also call me the Asian Oprah. Well, I have a perfect app for you if you want to lose negative weight and stop complaining. Yes, the 21-day Fast from Complaining with Dr. Marissa app is now available. Every day you'll get a balanced tip that keeps you from complaining, as well as some sound effects. If you do complain and you press a button, it will give you sound to keep you from complaining. And if you make it the entire day without complaining, you'll get a nice warm. And there's a YouTube link also to help you not complain. And then at the end of the 21 days, because it takes 21 days to create a good habit, you'll get an overall score as well as a way to post your triumph with your friends and family on Facebook. So don't complain, have fun, and remember it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
Peace in, peace out.
Love films? Support diversity? Then come to the Newport Beach Film Festival, a prestigious multicultural event attracting over 55,000 attendees and screening over 350 films in 8 days. Orange County's largest entertainment event will run April 26th to May 3rd, and yours truly, Dr. Marissa, will be introducing the Chinese Spotlight film on April 30th. So for the best in new, local, internationally, and critically acclaimed cinema, get your tickets at NewportBeachFilmFest.com. That's NewportBeachFilmFest.com. Weekly talk radio show. That's also TV because of the cameras. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon on UBN Radio TV, broadcasting live out of the Sunset Gower studios in Hollywood, California, and then syndicated on my CNBC, NBC News Radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, every Thursday at 7, Saturday at 4, and everywhere on iHeartRadio. You were so complimentary, I almost forgot what I was supposed to say. And today is a special show. It is my 6 years on the air. And because it is, I have the best guests to bring to you today. And it's the mom, Mrs. Cunningham from Happy Days, who kept me very happy when I was young, Marion Ross.
Now,
Ha. Da, 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 da. Do you know she's the voice from the grandmother in SpongeBob SquarePants? My
Yeah.
daughters are going to be really
you have
impressed by
daughters?
that.
You
I
have
have two beautiful girls.
I don't understand how you avoided becoming an actress.
Oh.
Was that hard?
Well, okay. You know what happened? I grew up Chinese. I know you thought I was Swedish, but in a Chinese household, acting, modeling, singing is like stripping. You have to be either a doctor or a lawyer or a PhD. And my father was a PhD. And so from the time I was 5, I knew I was going to get a PhD. And I took 1 year off between my 2 masters. And I actually was going to be a singer. And I had interest from 5-Star Management, Sade's management. And I got a surprise visit from my father who said, "You're good, but you're not that good. And you have to really want it because there's people out there who really, really want it. And you're not dying for it. You're just, you think you like it, but you've always wanted a PhD. So go get it." And so because of that, and I love my father, and it was the right thing to do because I'm singing now and it's good. and I can do everything. And I love the variety of the things that I get to do. And I think you're right. That 1%, I don't know if I have that kind of tenacity to want to just do that. But if you have a role for me, I
Uh,
would love to work with you.
uh,
But I take that as a compliment. Thank you.
yes, yes, because you have the drive, and it's lovely,
Yeah, thank
and that's
you.
you must have had a wonderful father,
I
right?
had a beautiful father. I could fall into him. I lost him from lymphoma in 2000,
Uh-huh.
but he was the guy that I could fall back into. And he's still there, loving me and supporting me from the
Right.
other side. And he's laughing right now. And he's
Well, no,
probably saying,
does
"That's not true."
does the audience know all about you? Do they know all this about you?
Pretty much. I'm a pretty much live out loud kind of gal.
And you
Gets me
have
into
two
trouble.
children. You have
Two
two children.
beautiful girls.
Uh-huh.
This show's about you, not about me.
Oh, I know, but but well,
They don't want to know about me. They
because
want to know about
you
you.
see, that's what makes me what I am because I'm always interested in you.
You're
I'm always interested in
curious.
you. My children would say, "Mother, you
Yeah.
stare at people.
Uh,
You stare," because
yeah.
I'm taking you apart. I'm
Yeah.
studying you. Maybe I'll be
Yeah.
you because
Yeah.
I'll use you. Maybe I'll be you.
Yeah.
You know.
You can, I think that there's a story somewhere I have a book coming out in August called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. And I'm using this show actually to unveil it. And I was going to do it in my balance bar announcements at the end, but you gave me a great segue. And in that book, I do talk about everything. And I don't regret anything that happened because it made me, like you said beautifully before, everything that I am now. And even that oppressive, cultural side. I'm a Leo in 6 planets. So that would
Serious.
explain,
Yes.
right, why I need to be doing what I'm doing,
Yeah.
right? So I love what I do. I think that maybe one day that would be, but I kind of like doing this. I like not being the center of
It's
attention.
well, all
No.
right, right. I would think writing is you're isolated. It's kind of a lonely thing. But
Yeah,
my
yeah.
so my book, my days, happy and otherwise. But I even in my book, I think there's a little diary that I wrote when I was like maybe in the 6th grade. I
Mhm.
said, someday I'm going to be very famous and people are going to be just clamoring all over me because they want to talk to me and they want, and I love to find that diary, in
Mm.
in pencil in this little.
You have it?
I have it.
Oh.
And I have the pages especially because I
So
tore them
so
out.
maybe that's do you believe in law of attraction?
I don't know what that is.
Well, it's Anson talked about it too, and a lot of the actors that come on here, it's like you have a vision, like you did in your diary, of what you were going to become and who you were going to be.
Yes.
And you may not believe in it, but it kind of came true, right?
Yeah,
Because you fulfilled that
I did.
intention
Yeah,
in a big way,
right.
in a big way.
No, I couldn't.
So,
I couldn't bear it. I left. After the 10th grade. Because I would go in the library and read who's who of famous people. These big books. Who's who of famous people. And then it said they were born, and then they're famous. And I thought, well, what happened? What happened in between there? How did
mhm.
that happen?
Mhm.
So, the desire to become somebody special was early, and then when I finished the 10th grade in high school, so you're a sophomore.
Yeah.
I said to my mother, "Can I go?" Because I would read theater arts magazines, and there would be ads for schools, and they were all in New York,
Mhm.
excepting for one in Minneapolis, in the McPhail School of Music and Drama.
Okay.
And I said to my mother, "Can I go up to 100 miles up to Minneapolis
Mhm.
and take care of some children
Mhm.
and go to this school in the summer?"
Mhm.
My mother said, "Of course you can." So
You are just
is
like
it?
your mother.
So,
Yeah.
so off I go, and I worked for that family and took lessons. And the family then said, "Will you stay for
Mhm.
the year with
Mhm.
us?" And my mother
Beautiful.
said, "Of course."
Love
But
it.
how many mothers would let you
Yeah.
go? Now,
Yeah.
now I'm 14, 15.
Wow.
So
Wow. So she was a tremendous fall into support.
yes,
Yeah. That's a beautiful story. So would you say that you have met that goal? Do you
I,
feel special?
do indeed.
Good.
And I think Happy Days, that puts you on the map. You want
Mhm.
to,
Well,
and
I mean, you
uh,
say happy days and everybody goes, "Oh yeah, I
they
know."
know it right
Across
away.
generations.
They were-
Even the youngins, I would say, you're never going to
Although,
guess who.
because I am SpongeBob SquarePants grandma, you know, and that's kind of a biggie.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't know it was such a
Oh, it's a
biggie.
huge thing.
That's a yeah.
It's a huge
Yeah,
thing. And you were Leslie Nielsen's wife in Superhero, right?
that was good.
And you played Sally Field's mother on Brothers and Sisters.
Yes. See,
Mhm.
that was a fantastic series.
And
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls. The
Gilmore Girls. I love the
matriarch on that
Gilmore.
one. And
Right.
and that 70s show. Now we're going through. I mean, it's like you're so much more than Mrs. C. I know that you're known for Mrs. C, but this is why you have to read the book and get the pictures and
Well,
all of that, because it's such a rich career. You've had, like, I mean, Cary Grant, Lauren Bacall,
well, and
to
I didn't.
SpongeBob
a-
SquarePants. That's like a huge. That's decades of
And I always
amazing.
like to talk about Noel Coward. Do you know who Noel Coward is? Not so much. So that's why I don't mention it so much. A giant of the theater.
Okay,
Noel
yeah.
Coward.
You worked with him
Yes.
in New York.
No. Here
Here.
we did live. We did a big production at CBS called of the play that he wrote called Blithe Spirit, and in it was Lauren Bacall, Claudette
Wow.
Colbert, Sir Noel Coward himself,
Wow.
moi,
Mm-hmm.
and to me that's in my book because that's very important to me.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And two things that I forgot to mention. One, you were voted the most likely to be an actress, right, in high school, something like that. I read
I
that.
think so.
That
Yes,
was
in my
that.
yearbook.
Yes, and you got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2001,
Yes.
and in 2008 they renamed and dedicated the Marion Ross Performing Arts Center in your hometown of Albert Lee.
Of Albert Lee, Minnesota. They
Yeah.
named the theater. I
Minnesota.
mean, it was Minnesota, And
Minnesota.
in fact, one of the drama teachers that I studied with in Minneapolis, she said, "You can't speak the way you do."
Mm.
Because I had a real nice, Minnesota accent, it's real nice. So I had to, and then she said, "You can't breathe the way you do." So now I had to breathe with my diaphragm. Now I could. By the time we got on the train to move to California, I couldn't talk at all.
That's great. That is super beautiful. So we're almost out of time. Two questions. One is, what do you hope for us as a planet right now?
Mm.
What do you hope for people who are living in this time? What do you wish for?
Well, being such an optimistic person,
Really?
yes, I am. I know scientifically it's not looking good. It's not looking good in a lot of ways. But, if anything were to happen to our planet, we would just go to another one. Use another one. There's lots of them up there.
Okay. All right. All right. And then the last question is, I ask all of my guests. And, well, before I do that, I do want to give her, because I don't give all my guests this, but you really have touched my heart. You touched my heart when I was young, because it was not an easy upbringing I had. And I have to say that I'm going to get teary here. I was only allowed 4 hours of TV a week. That was it. And yours was one of the shows that I watched. And watching it, like, gave me a little bit of hope and happiness in times when there wasn't a lot. So thank you.
Wait till I tell the Fonz that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Who and what are you? Oh, that's what. I'm going to give you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award.
Okay.
So that doesn't go to everyone, but it goes to people who really have made a difference on the planet, and your work and your craft and your role really has done that. You were like my mom.
Thank you, doctor. I wish I
Yeah.
were your mom.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wish you were too. And then the last question is, who or what are you most grateful for in your life?
That's a very hard question.
Mm.
There's another book, I think. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're not going to answer the question, okay? That's okay. I am.
But you're a very easy crier. I'm an easy crier
Are
too.
you? Yeah.
Doesn't mean we have
No.
thin emotions.
No.
Yeah.
Tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft.
I
So
know.
I never apologize
Yeah.
for crying, and I
Yeah.
love it when people cry on my show.
Uh-huh.
But I was supposed to make you cry and not vice versa. So I
So
failed
I
today.
made you cry.
made me cry.
Oh, for crying
is-
out loud. Yeah.
Yes, you're gonna soon get that top spot of all the people that I've interviewed and the best shows that I've done. So thank you for coming on the air.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in front of the cameras.
I've had a wonderful time.
Marion
Thank you.
Ross, the one and only. God bless you. He already does. All right. And we are at the end of the show, which is time to invite you to my balance bar. And I. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Wow. I have forgotten, this is the best part of having producing my own show is being able to choose what I want to do on Thursdays for this special series, Throwback Thursdays, is taking out of my beautiful gold vault, hashtag timeless, hashtag ageless. I thought she was 87 when she came on the first time, but she was 89 when she walked into my studio. And then she was back again last year with her son. And let's see if I can pull that up real quick. I wasn't planning on doing that. Well, let's first take a bite of my gratitude sandwich, because that is my habit. I want to always do it at the end when it comes to Throwback Thursdays, because I want to make sure that you get the entire interview that I just pulled up, which was with Marion Ross, Mrs. Cunningham, who is just so amazing. And I'm very, very, very grateful that I've gotten to work with her and talk with her and be blessed by her. So absolutely, I hope you enjoyed that. And she's truly, truly amazing. You can actually see her when let's see, when she's on Jim Meskimen's channel, when every time he does his lives, not every time, but I catch it when I can, and sometimes he has her on the show with him. So make sure you go check him out. Jim Meskimen is a great impressionist, and she introduced him to me through that interview, and he's been on the show not once but twice, or maybe even 3 times. And he brought his beautiful wife into the studio with me, and that was wonderful. They own an acting school that does not criticize, so that's pretty amazing. I would like to have you take a bite of my gratitude sandwich, which is my good life habit, hashtag Blisscipline, that we do in the show, usually the top of the show. So what are you grateful for? Top of the bun. And bottom of the bun is, what are you grateful for inside of yourself? Outside of yourself, inside of yourself. So I'll start with, I am so grateful. That was 6 years on the air. Now it's 12.78 years. So I'm grateful that I'm still here, still living out loud, and still balancing out of the bad news with good news and good people and great interviews with incredible people like Mrs. Cunningham. Grateful that I got to see again how delightful she is, and how much she's so bright and observant, and she was so loving and complimentary towards me. I'd forgotten the full extent of that. So I just remember the wonderment part, but that was at the beginning. And then, throughout that whole interview, I just love that. And the stories that she told, I'm grateful for getting a little insight on the baseball team that Ron Howard taught. I think it was Fonzie, how to pitch, which was very cool, and all of those great memories that she brought up. I am grateful that LA has really embraced the fire casualties and what's going on. And every day I hear more and more great things about people who have and continue to help those who are impacted by that tragedy, that natural disaster, that we continue to heal. And I continue to take that breath through the nose and releasing peace, comfort, wisdom, kindness through this healing process for everyone, especially Harlan and Lenka, two of my friends who were really disastrously impacted. And we're just holding you in that space of love and healing. And I'm grateful that I get to go to celebrate Chinese New Year with my daughters up in San Francisco next week. And I'm grateful that the planets did not crash into each other last night, and we have another full day to live, laugh, love, learn, and be innovative and creative, and just an opportunity to love yourself. And that is the theme for this year's. I do this pretty much every Valentine's. I'm not sure when I started, but I love having an opportunity to get together with ladies and women and guys too. You're welcome to come. It's a Love Yourself, Get Happy Hour, taking my Happy 88 mission, 88 million people more happy for the next 8 years. That's my mission. And we're starting this year off. Last year was in Australia. This year it's here in Long Beach and at Lena's Trunk Shop Apparel, if you're going to look that up. But put that date on your calendar, Friday, February the 7th, for our shopping and laughing and learning. I will do a book signing. I'll be giving out free audiobook copies of the book with every book signed, as well as funds raised for Habitat for Humanity, and they're rebuilding for the fires. And there'll be a little imbibing and eating. And then what's really different and cool this year is I'm going to release or unleash, I'm trying to figure out the right word, my stand-up sketch. It's called, I don't know whether to call it Swipe or No Swiping, or whether to call it Dating in HD, which is HD stands for hope, disappointment, hope, disappointment. And some of you know I had that on my intentions, that stand-up comedy is something that I've wanted to try. And so last year I did my first stand up, and now we're going to take that on the road and see what happens. I know that I'm a motivational speaker, been doing that for 28 years. That tries to be funny, and people are laughing, so I'm somewhat successful. So I thought maybe I'll try stand-up comedy and then motivate through that. So we're going to give that a try. February 7th, Long Beach. RSVP please, because it's a space limited kind of thing, and I'm happy to see you there. All righty. And going to the bottom of the bun, which is, what do you like about yourself? It's my BS, my belief system that great mental health starts with self-care, that it's been great. My honorable moniker, Oprah, has been great at normalizing talk about mental health. That's the good news. The not so good news is a lot of people are reaching for people, places, drugs, things outside of themselves to feel better. And that is a short-lived process in my book, and literally. And what I'd like you to do is, before you go to bed at night, is to be appreciative and grateful of yourself. And especially those of us who grew up being told, don't toot your own horn, you're not all that. Instead, I want you to really celebrate the good that's you. You're not perfect. We're not perfect, but we have great things that we get compliments about, and we are like, oh, no, not really. Or we say thank you, and then we think, well, they don't really know us, so we're not really that great. And I want you to remember that you are 88% fabulous. 12% of the time we step in it. But I want you to celebrate that part of yourself, so you're less likely to be looking for love in the wrong places and looking for likes, literally, on social media. So that's what I'd like you to do. That's why we do Breakfast with Dr. Marissa every weekday morning at the top of the show, or on Throwback Thursdays at the bottom. So I hope that you will continue this good life habit with or without me. But I'm here every weekday morning, splattering more hope and happiness. Hope you enjoyed the interview. You can always go watch that again. Go to my YouTube TV channel, free subscribe, which is better than the iHeart. Nothing better than iHeart or Spotify, but that is just audio. And I just do love bringing you guests that you can watch and listen. And that's it for today. Tomorrow, Straight Talk with myself and James Hawthorne, who is a actor trainer. I met him when he was the co-founder of Flicks for Change, movies that make a difference, films that make a difference. And so he's been great as my co-host every other Friday. And he'll be coming on, and we'll be talking straight talk about you name it. We'll be there, putting the moose on the table, talking about things that people don't usually talk about, but all solution-based, so you can be happy 88% of the time. Thanks for being here. It's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me.